I've got a live stream to do. Mass computer. Please select files for the agents best suited for this live stream. AJ, background in comics, cartoons and movies. Knowledge of Mask comic useful for this live stream. YouTube codename AJ's Movie Place. And afternoon, everybody. So I hope you all enjoyed that nice intro that we put together between ourselves, a little bit of laughter. So obviously, anybody that obviously has come from my channel, obviously if you're not that way, if you're not aware of AJ, obviously please do follow his channel. Obviously, he's nice enough to kind of join me on this presenting gig. So the whole idea of this, discussing the brand, is we will take a subject matter, mask in this instant, and we will talk about it for an hour or so. I've not put a time limit on it, so if we overrun, that's fine. The reason for this is just to reignite the passions of like toys and anything. And also we wanted to kind of throw it out to the audience. So also, if you want to comment on what we want to do next time, please feel free. And obviously we'll have a discussion after it and try and base the next episode off whatever you've decided of the audience, if there's any people watching.
But I'm sure there will be you'll get the audience after or on replay. I don't worry too much about that. Nah. First time, you're new to it. It'll come, and I'll share it on my channel afterwards anyway. And do you know what I mean? So don't worry about that. Let's just go with it and enjoy it.
Perfect. So obviously everybody at home, if you're not aware of what Mask is a cartoon that was created in the 80s. I think it was 85 and 86. Ran for 65 episodes in the first series and 10 episodes in the second. Before it was cancelled, unfortunately, or it was ended with no quite kind of direct reason why, but we can all assume. From this, they have done obviously 4 toy lines that started from 85 all the way up to 88. And then since then, we've have the odd figure that has come through from IDW's comic line, which you'll see behind me. So they worked with IDW and had a series called Revolution. This created the 10-part series that you see behind me, and also had a few special packs featuring other Hasbro toy lines, because obviously Hasbro took over the license from Kenner when they were bought over. Also, currently the only person to be doing newer Mask toys or reimagining of Mask toys is a company called Ramen Toys. So they are currently doing a newer version of Thunderhawk, where I have a picture of it. So they have a current version of this they are doing, and they are going to make Shark, so Gloria Baker's vehicle that never got a one. They're not cheap. You're probably looking at £100 plus before postage, because the company I think is based more Asia way. But yeah, so that's the current knowledge of what Mask goes on. Interesting fact that I learned by doing this, obviously Mask stands for Mobile Armored Strike Command, but did everybody know that Venom also stood for something? Which is
Can I go?
Yeah, you go.
Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem.
Yeah, well done.
There you go.
So yeah, if you're watching this, obviously you've learned something new. If you haven't known that, because I didn't know that, and I liked this since I was kids. But yeah, obviously I've gone back and watched almost everything. I finished episode 73 just before this live stream, so I didn't quite get all the episodes in. But
so you've got into the racing era.
Yes, as I say, it's for me, obviously, and people out there, if you watched 80s cartoons and loved it, I mean, it was a very family-friendly cartoon. There was a lot of stuff to learn, like they had the little clip at the end to kind of teach you stuff of what not to do. Obviously, things that happened in the episode, you obviously had T-Bob and Scott. Obviously, let's try and get him in there. Yeah, so and obviously things used to happen to T-Bob. So obviously, it's an android, so he doesn't really get hurt much in real life. And they also used to teach you little things, which I quite liked. Obviously, I know there was a more of an incentive behind the scenes to be a bit more informative and stuff when it comes to toy lines of the 80s. Yeah, and unfortunately it did get cancelled. Whether that's down to poor toy sales, I know animation of the 80s was quite expensive to produce, so there was that. And then they're moving over from America specifically to sports so they can get endorsements and stuff. It was all about money. So a short-lived series, but I mean, the fact it was around for probably 2 years as a cartoon, 4 years as a toy line, and is still remembered by a lot of people today, shows that it was obviously good enough back in the day, but just didn't make the money.
No, yeah, it was. It was popular enough to, you know. I mean, I was there at the time. I was, you know, because I was born in '76, so the '80s was my era. Unlike yourself, like a young whippersnapper.
Well, I was actually born early '80s, so I was a 4 when. So I did actually watch it. I was old enough to just about
really?
watch it.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
Oh, bloody hell! I thought you were younger. I am. It's because you got hair, and I know.
It's receding. My wife tells me it is receding.
I took you for younger, so that's a
compliment.
Compliment there, yeah. But yeah, I remember, because I was going to ask you how you, and that explains it, how you got this sort of stuff. Because seriously, I assumed you was a lot younger. But there we go. So that's thrown that line of questioning out the window. So I've got my answer there. But yeah, so I was there when this stuff came out, you know, and I went through it all. Transformers, He-Man, Mask, Ghostbusters, Thundercats. Unlike yourself, obviously, I'm not. I mean, as you know, I am I do collect toys in a sense, but not like what you do. So the Mask toys are sort of committed to memory now, committed to, you know, history for me. Although I do have memories of having them, of playing with them. You know what I mean? So yes.
No, that's fine. I mean, obviously, I had quite a few of the toys. All of these that I have like scattered around here, so I'll bring them in if people ask and stuff like that.
So is that the original?
No. So none of these are my original toys. All of these are purchased kind of.
Oh no, that's what I mean. But that's not that new one you was just saying that's being done. That's
yeah.
So from that era.
Yeah. So basically, that's being remade. So this one, is you will have a newer version. I did have some pictures, but I didn't figure out how to add them to the live stream.
Well, open it up then. Come on. Open the wings. Tell me what.
Yeah, over the wings, but it's missing. Obviously, it's only got one laser, unfortunately, and no missiles and no map tracker. But yeah, these are all bought within like a year and a half. So everything that I have here is kind of me trying to reclaim my childhood, so to speak.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Before we actually delve into Mask itself, just for my own curiosity. So when did you get into the toy side of things, and what got you into that?
I was always into toys as a child.
Like we all are.
Yeah, like we all are. Like I had toys, like I had like Thunderhawk, and then I had like Condor, had all of these. But there you go. Brad
I love that.
Only missing the most important bit of the windscreen.
Yeah.
But as I grew up, unfortunately, girls and everything else came and they were put in boxes. And being a boy, I used to like bash them around, and you play with vehicles.
Play with them. Exactly.
In later life, going through a lot of changes, I managed to get my own flat about 8-9 years ago. And obviously I moved home to save for that, and I went through a period of having quite a lot of money. So what to do with it? Obviously, I was like, I kind of got a rejuvenation, shall we say, to kind of wanting to collect the toys. More or less, it was Transformers at first, which I came in at the right good time because they were quite cheap and not as popular as they are now. And it just spiraled from there. And then I kind of go from one toy line to another toy line to another toy line, toy line, even. The words out. So we've had one message so far. So Blue Harvest Toys.
Mark. Yeah. Hi, Mark. How you keep him? Blue Harvest Toys. He's a great guy. Great channel. Well suited to you and your toy channel here, and the community that he's got. They're very friendly. That's why I put you onto them, because they're spot on.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so it's a good recommendation. I did watch part of their video the other day. I think it was the live auction that they were doing, and then he did mention about the Forever Toys that had the mask one. Bit pricey for my when I was in that, but no, it's yeah. So manage. Obviously,
it's worthwhile getting, for you, getting involved in them sort of communities, because you'll find a lot of people, different toy collectors and that.
No, that's good. I say we've also got good old Matt.
Hi, Matt. Yeah, Matt.
Guys, yeah, I say it's yeah. I mean, Matt's advice was to split obviously my channel, which is making a bit more work, but it's all fun. It's all good to kind of split the passions. And more people coming in. We also got
there we go. Lobot. Hi, Lobot. How you doing? There's a Star Wars character name for you. Yeah. Is that a Lobot image as well? I think it is, of some sort.
Yeah.
Is it? Lobot is. Lobot is a character from Star Wars. He's the geezer who runs around with Lando Calrissian, isn't he? If I'm getting that right, the one with the.
Is that from Empire?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I know Star Wars. I'm not the biggest Star Wars.
So you don't collect Star Wars toys, then? But no, let's focus on Mask. Come on. What it's about. So you broke everything down in your opening segment. Told everything. That's it. The chat over. Let's go. So have you got all your toys beside you?
Yes, I have got them.
Good, because I want to go down memory lane and I want to see these in a bit.
Perfect.
I want to because I used to play with them, and I had a fantastic time with them. But yeah, go on, carry on.
No, I say going back to your question. Obviously, Lobot has put it's a Lobot head on a Transformer smoke screen.
Okay.
If that's But yeah, so it's quite strange because obviously with a toy collector or most toy collectors, you like to kind of get the stuff you wanted as a kid. Now, for me, there was a lot. Obviously, I didn't have a kid for one reason or the other. So my first toy back into Mask was Piranha. So this is Sly Rax's one. Fortunately, I got this at not London, Birmingham Comic Con. And there's like a toy event. Was I think 4 times, now it's 2 times. So a gentleman was selling this, and obviously had 2 figures, so that was cool. So that was the first one. There's one little bit of damage at the back, but
so how much do these go for now? How much did that cost you?
So this cost me 25 that I paid. Now they fluctuate. So I watched an advert recently for Mask, and when Mask came out in the 80s, the figures. So you could buy like 1 or 2 figures, and this was £4.
Yeah,
so these were the sets. What is the cheapest sets? And then it had Boulder Hill, which is the big play set. That was £44 back in the day.
So it's now rather cheap.
So yeah, rather cheap. I mean, it depends where you get them from. So probably, I mean, this one I bought from Leicester, the toy shop. This must be 80 and it's complete. I mean, you can probably find them a lot cheaper depending on condition and stuff, for maybe like 30, 40, 50 quid, depending on where you go. Up to
don't put it down. Don't put it down. Open it up. Oh. Let me see the boat.
Okay, now I've got to remember. Okay, right.
I knew it was going.
So yeah, so they still work. Obviously, like it's the best part of a 40-year-old toy, and obviously there's Dusty and his little jet ski, and obviously this bit, which is the most. It does flip out as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
I'll put them there. I'm not gonna. There'll be bits everywhere.
Quality. So yeah, so like you said, it was Kenner that produced these in '85 that first came about with them, and like you said, 4 waves. I don't know if I was there for the later waves. If my interest in Mask had waned and I went on to the next thing, I don't know. Very possibly, because I remember I had the car. I had Miles Mayhem's the names elude me now. See, that looks well different, but that was cool. You know, the helicopter the helicopter to plane was just, there was something cool about that, inherently just, you know what I mean? Yeah, I remember.
Good technique as well, like all the rage.
So you used to play with these? You had these as a kid?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have Switch, as I say. I had what is quite strange, I think, from the toys and the cartoon is the cartoon came out 85, 86, and within that time we only got wave 1 and literally wave 2 as the second series was doing. Most of the toys from 1 and 2 were featured in the first series. Then obviously 3 came at the end of season 1/season 2, and then we never got anything season 4. And most of my toys that I had as a child were season 3 and season 4. So I'd obviously liked the cartoon, but my parents bought me in until the end and were like, "Oh, there's all these other ones," which at that point I was probably like, "It's not on TV. I want this on toy now." Yeah. Transformers is out now. There's a movie. I want to see that. But
yeah. So the comic side of it, then.
Yeah.
How do you? You've been a comic collector as well. Is that just? Are you a big comic collector, or is that small, or is that? How do you find out about the Mask comic?
Okay, so I have probably about 4,000 to 6,000 comics at last moment. I did have about 8, but I downsized quite a lot. So when I was 13, my dad, we had a comic book shop in our local town. My dad, for my birthday, bought me a few. He bought Hella, if you've ever heard her. She's quite sultry, a bit like the kind of Spawn thing. The Mutant Massacre graphic novel. So if anybody X-Men fans are out there, obviously I got it really big into Archangel at that time, and like a Tick comic.
Yeah,
we got them to me just to get me into reading and stuff because I wasn't the best when I was a child. 13, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I then went very Marvel and was for Marvel for a long time. Amazing Spider-Man and X-Men and Avengers and New Avengers and Mighty Avengers and Young Avengers and any other Avengers out there before obviously all this. And then like my 30s, I started, my friends who I made contact with via my personal life and stuff. He was quite big into DC, so he got me onto like Batman. But like in between this, because I go to the shops and I make friends with the shop owners and stuff, they'd be the ones that recommend me. And I like 80s and like 90s. So like Gargoyles I got into, and then they're like, oh, there's a Mask series coming out. Oh, well, I'll collect this. The same with they had a Visionaries 4 part as well. I don't know if you ever got that. That was a bit weird, but
what the you're talking about the crossover event?
Yeah, one.
Yes, I've got and First Strike, which came after. Yeah, I have them somewhere. I say somewhere because my collection is huge. It's huge. I keep meaning to go through them at some point, but it's a monumental task, and there's no order to them now because I've moved house several times, and it'd be a horrible job. But yeah, so the DC first done the comics. DC were the first ones to do a Mask comic. They've done a 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
And then they done a 9-issue series, well, an ongoing series, but only lasted 9 issues after that. Oh, you're aware of them? Have you got them?
I'm aware of them. I haven't got them. I know bits about it because obviously one thing going back to this, I wanted to know the backstory because obviously the cartoon, if anybody's watched it, never really explains where Mask come from.
I do know.
They obviously, the comics go kind of a different route, and little bits were obviously used, I think, in the later series, but in a different way. Because, obviously, Mayhem and Matt Tracker have a relationship, but obviously in this cartoon, they don't even know who they know Matt Tracker is like Bruce Wayne, basically. He's the proper playboy, and there's one episode where they do discover his identity and then lose their memory.
Well, because with the toys, there were the first early toys you had a comic book with them, a little mini comic book with them, and that told the story of you never had Venom and you didn't have Mask. It was one entity.
Yeah,
they were one group of people, and then they sort of split, and Miles Mayhem injured and essentially killed Matt Tracker's brother.
Anthony, wasn't it? I think it was Anthony Tracker. I think that was his
name. And that's what divided them. Like he sort of stole half of the gear, and yeah. So it's pretty dark stuff, really.
Yeah, especially if they were to feature it in a cartoon. Because I say they just literally first episode, it's like, "Hi, I'm Matt. I'm expensive. Here's my son." Like conveniently, we're in like this area, and this thing gets nicked.
Yes, which make note that first episode, the pilot episode, is well. So there's that meteor, isn't there? There's a meteor on the ground. There's a scientist looking at it, filming it. Then a UFO comes round. But this bit makes no sense to me. A UFO comes around, picks it up, and flies off. Obviously, it's not a UFO. It's the helicopter inside some sort of makeshift. But they don't know that. People think it's a UFO. But then there's some Venom agents just around the corner who come out to attack the people, the scientist girl and that were working on the rock. So straight away, it sort of says to them, so it kind of destroys the whole UFO thing. It's like, well, why would you create a UFO to go and pick up this meteorite when your agents around the corner will just come round running to try and kill you, telling you that it's stolen by these people? Yeah, the logic was like... It was funny stuff. It's amusing as an adult watching back over them. It's very amusing.
Yeah, I mean the bad guys are painted as buffoons and idiots. I think from start to finish and stuff.
And it's always about money.
Yeah. But I mean, I say that's the strange thing because obviously, like the comics, it has a dark side, but in the series, no one ever gets killed. There's no. I think the closest they come to, Gloria gets hurt, I think about 20 episodes in, and like, oh my God, it's like life-threatening. And then they beat Mayhem, and she walks out with a tourniquet out of hospital, like, la, 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 we're all right, we're all good. But apart from that, like, no one literally gets killed. Like, anytime they get fired at with all these, like, a flamethrower or stilettos, they're all, like, outline the person. I always thought that was quite funny, but obviously to keep
it's A-team logic.
Yeah.
You know, all these people running around with their guns and no one getting hurt, and when a vehicle overturns, they just get out rubbing their head. You know, it's that sort of logic, because it's a kids show, isn't it? Essentially, so they weren't allowed to have that violence. But yeah, it's good stuff. But you didn't notice that as a kid. That stuff wasn't aware to you. And Matt Tracker's mask, it was just a plot device. It was the Sword of Omens of Mark. Because like in Thundercats, the Sword of Omens, no matter what the situation was, the Sword of Omens had a power to get them out of it. And Matt Tracker's mask is very much the same. Oh, here's another power this week. That opens the door for us getting out of this plot hole that we've created. And we've trapped ourselves. Yeah, good stuff.
Should we go for a few more comments?
Yeah, go on.
So what? So 8. Oh, let's go back up. I'm losing track now. So yeah. Oh yeah. So thanks for the kind words, Matt. I missed one of his questions. Have you been to London Comic Con? So I've only been to London Comic Con once, which was quite fun. So my brother-in-law, he's a very big Jason David Frank fan. We're getting a bit off subject. I'll be very quick with this. So he's the original Green Power Ranger. So he wanted to go see him. I conveniently wanted to go. I wanted to go for another reason. I'll show you the picture because the photo's up there. But so I take my sister and my brother-in-law to London Comic Con. First time going. We have a few issues on the way. We get there, get into the queue. We're halfway in the queue waiting to go in. This car pulls up. Jason David Frank gets out, sees we've got Power Ranger t-shirts on, and goes and have a picture with us. So my brother-in-law is absolutely like, oh, well, we don't need to go in then.
You go in now.
No, I want to go in. But yeah, so that's the first one. So the reason I went in is obviously, let's move it that way. So I met a familiar face, if anyone can see that. Hopefully I'm not blocking it.
Is that you?
That is me. That's a younger me with
how tall are you?
Christopher Lloyd, and I was about 28, 29.
No, how tall?
How tall? I'm 6'4" without the hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's quite make him look a bit small, but
That's cool. Yeah, he was there when we went last time.
So very shy. I really wanted to see Michael J. Fox, but unfortunately they sold out of all those tickets, and you can only pay, I think, $4.50 for the whole day. And I couldn't afford that at that time. Regret it a bit now, but hopefully I'll get a chance to meet him at some point, as it's my favourite film. So,
my mind's just. I'm just so tempted to say something, but I don't want to. I like Michael J. Fox, and it's so sad, but I can't make the joke. It's not.
That's fine to say. I'm like, obviously he's done a lot. He's obviously Parkinson's isn't a great disease, but it is what it is.
No, just don't ask for an autograph.
Yeah, I knew.
Sorry, I had to. Sorry, that's so person.
Okay, the reason why I might ask that question because you and him have been last year.
Yeah, we went last year to. Matt came down to London, and we went to Yeah, that was cool. That was good.
Cool. Okay, and then also Blue Harvest Toys. He may be going to London Comic Con this year if I don't spend up at Celebration.
Oh.
Okay. Wow, lots of comics.
Next time I have to go dressed as Punisher. It's easy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I won't take no guns. I won't make it anywhere. I'm London transport with guns.
No, we just have like the orange tip day in it. That's what they do now to have the kids' toys. There's a few more from Matt saying lots of comics and toys. And then we go to something else, JT. I used to watch
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it didn't. The story didn't matter, did it?
No,
it didn't bother. Because obviously, going back to the comics, you had Fleetway over here done a UK comic inside its own continuity, which I would have. Because even then I was collecting. Well, I was reading comics. I wasn't collecting comics per se then, but I'd get the Marvel UK stuff, the sort of the newsagent, large format comics like Transformers and things like that. And I do remember having the Mask annual. I did have the thick hardback annual that they'd done. I still remember the cover. It was very red.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember having a few of them. They don't make stuff like that anymore now, do they? So
not like they used to. No.
No, but yeah, I mean, as Jay said, yeah, it doesn't matter about the toys. Obviously, you enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, it's funny to watch it back to notice a few things in later life. Say how whiny Scott is a lot, and how much he disobeyed his dad, and then still ends up in trouble.
Yeah.
But I say the one thing I did think, or Kenner did really well, is they were one of the toy lines that the toys actually looked really much like the the cartoon. I don't know the reason. Oh, let's bring that on. So yeah, this is Iguana. Just show ones. But yeah, I mean, literally, if let him sit up, get my camera there. So yeah, I mean, this looks very much like the toys. Whereas if you took like Transformers and that, most of them didn't look much like their toys or didn't transform in the same way. Whereas Mask were very good. I mean, they kept it simple, but still worked, I think.
Yeah. No, they were cool. They were cool.
Yeah.
So you said it was 98, wasn't it, when the last toys were made for Mask?
88.
Sorry?
88.
That's what I meant. Old age.
That's all right. It's all right. Want to get us stats right, because I'm sure they'll kill us in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. And in 2008, there was a Matt Tracker figure made. A G.I. Joe Matt Tracker figure made, wasn't there?
Yeah, so I don't have him, unfortunately. I say that was they made. So the main figure is Matt Tracker, and then the backpack is kind of a version of Condor, which I thought was very strange, of how his backpack was Brad Turner's vehicle.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that was for the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary. Yeah. The anniversary thing for G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Because there have been attempts at also getting Mask into live action movie, but it never come to
fruition. No,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I look it up, it still seems to say it could be in development. I mean, they've battered G.I. Joe a few times around, so who knows? It may just be a matter of time. I mean, to be honest, I think it'd be quite a good live action series, possibly. But I mean, with CG and I mean, because you wouldn't really need a lot, would you? There's no real, apart from a change in vehicle.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
And so I mean,
I've got the messages beside me going as well. I can see the live messages and that on my phone.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, for me, I know this is people in the comments obviously like this. I mean, the toy line kind of reminds me of like if you ever see Team Knight Rider.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like you could probably take that premise and play around with it a lot more and make it a bit better, if that makes sense. Because you had like a car that's split into 2 bikes, which was a bit like Buzzard and a few other things like that. And I thought it wouldn't take too much to do it, but.
So would you rather see a TV series then, live action TV series, than a big budget movie?
I think yes, just because it gives them more time to build on it. I think when you have a movie, you have 3 hours maximum. I mean, because it's a kind of kid friendly, and if they're having new toys, it'll be 2 hours to try and get the whole story. And as you've said, maybe it might be a bit dark as well. Whereas if you have a TV series, you could have like a double episode just to let you know what happens, and then build on each character and stuff as you. I think that would work really well, but it's it's all about money, ain't it? At the end of the day, and
it is. Yeah, I mean, it's about toy sales because obviously the film was going to be part of a shared universe. They were going to do a which as you know the comics have done. They've G.I. Joe. What was it? Visionaries, G.I. Joe, ROM, Transformers part of that?
Yeah, they were a part of that. Because obviously, because the IDW comics, ain't it? They have Transformers on it. Which, I mean, Transformers live action has done quite well. G.I. Joe, I didn't mind the first one. Second one was all right. But
yeah.
Let's
get your comics off that shelf. Let's do a comparison because I want to see what covers you went for. Because obviously IDW are renowned for doing variant covers on stuff. So I've got mine beside me. I don't bag mine like. See how you bag it? Do you bag every comic you get with a ball?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't do that anymore. I stick them into a bag. So I get all of them and it just saves space. The amount I've got. And they sort of protect themselves then. They protect their own spines by being things like that. The only comics I really put into backing boards are the Punishers that I get. So show me your issue 1. Okay, same one. Yes. What did you go for issue 2?
Oh. Have we got the same?
Oh. All right. It's getting boring, this is. Oh, I've actually got 2 issue 3s.
Oh.
3s. Go on, what did you go? Okay, so I got that one.
Yeah.
All right. Same. But I couldn't resist going for this one.
Oh, that's nice. Grimlock?
Yeah. It's a sort of Transformers mix cover. Artist's edition cover, that one. I thought that was cool. That stood out to me. So issue 4. Yeah, boring now.
It's like all the bog standard ones. Yeah.
Oh.
This is a good game of Snap.
6. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh no, actually I've got 2 for 6.
No.
I've got your one and I quite like this one as well. With the bonnet of
Switchblade, the helicopter jet.
Oh, the car.
Is it not? Oh, is it the car?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the headlights of bits.
Yeah. All right, 7. Yeah, that's right. 8. Oh. 9. Oh,
10 for a full set.
10. Oh, so boring. Now, did you pick up that?
No. See, I'm not big into alternate covers, but my comic shop only gets limited stuff.
Well, that's the annual.
Is that the annual? Oh, okay, yeah.
Squarebound,
okay.
Which gave it's a reimagining of the pilot episode.
Okay. No, I didn't get that then.
But G.I. Joe were a part of it as well in this comic. They did bring G.I. Joe was in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
No,
an awkward question. Okay. Your opinion on something. Wait a minute. Let me find a good image. Okay. So, what? Do you know where I'm going?
No, I don't know where you're going, so I'm gonna.
Okay, Matt Tracker.
Yeah.
Matt Tracker in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Matt Tracker in the comics.
Later comics, IDW.
Yes, the IDW.
Yeah.
Matt Tracker. Where is he? Matt Tracker in the comics. Opinions.
For me, it's been. I mean, I grew up on the comics, the cartoons, even. So I preferred be as political. That he was white. That's just what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind them changing the race and that if they're trying to appeal. If it has a valid reason, but I didn't see a valid reason in the comics other than it was kind of, with the new Spider-Man in the comics, Miles Morales, and a few other bits like that, I kind of felt maybe that's their intention. Specifically, obviously, Mask were 4 people now, and obviously Brad, who was the white male, then obviously Matt, who was obviously the coloured male. Then obviously you had a woman, and then Julio, was it Julio? The doctor guy, yeah. And obviously it was kind of very let's just have everyone is a diverse person from the good guys. That's what I took it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but he wasn't my Matt Tracker. The same way Peter Parker is my Spider-Man and not Miles Morales as he is to a newer generation.
Yeah, but it's funny you should use, and I don't want to go down this too far. Use Miles Morales as a because Miles Morales is a completely different character.
Yeah,
he's not a race changed character.
No, he's an alternate.
He's a new iteration of Spider-Man who took over the role after the death of Peter Parker in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book. Yes. So I don't take that as a valid argument.
Okay, that's
fine. Because I think that Miles Morales is a fantastic character, fantastically conceived. But Brian Michael Bendis, as you would know, is a comic book reader who wrote all those, who brought us Ultimate Spider-Man, and then created Miles Morales. Done a wonderful job with that character, and I adore that character. So why not just create another character, a brand new character for the comic?
Or have Hondo.
Well, yeah. Why not make Miles? Why not make Miles Mayhem?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They wouldn't have done that because he's a bad guy, and they would have been slated.
Okay. Yeah.
You wouldn't be allowed to do that. They wouldn't ever do that. Do you have? I love that car. I love it. I thought that was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy Hawk did used to drive this sometimes, but it was originally planned as Hondo.
Yeah.
So, interesting fact for people at home. Hondo's first vehicle, Firecracker, got damaged in episode 29, and they decided to replace it with this vehicle, which
there are some more toys,
which is released as Hurricane, but that isn't what it was initially called in the cartoon. So for about 2 or 3 episodes, they refer to it as Night Stalker.
Mm-hmm.
until they found out Mattel owned that name for something else, so they had to change it. So that's why it's called Hurricane.
Do the front lights? Does something happen on the front lights on that?
Yeah, you got. That's probably the one prep of remembering how everything changes.
I'm just coming
breaking
back.
It. I know it's. Hang on.
Don't break it. Don't break it. And if it's too much, don't do it.
No, it does work. It just is. I say it's been a little while since I've. They pop out, but this turns. This should.
Don't break it if it's gone. I don't want to get blamed.
I'll play with it.
Mark says twist the top.
Twist the top. That.
Mark at Blue Harvest.
Yeah. I thought it did, but it seems a bit right. Let's. Oh, hang on. Almost got it there.
I'm not getting blamed for the no chance.
No, it seems to have frozen.
All right.
Oh no. Right. There we go. That's there. And these. So you just pull them out.
Yeah.
So there. And then obviously that pops up when you open the lid, and there's the gun. And then he does have a tie, but that's missing.
So how much did that one set you back?
I think this was about 25.
Oh,
so this was Facebook. So I found like some of them are quite handy. Like this one was there, like some other cheaper ones. So I found this one, and what other one was there?
Oh, I've never seen that. I've never had that one.
So this is a later one. So his wing pops out, and then the wheels pop out, and the back pops up, and then he's like a little jet ski type thing.
Oh, okay. That's I like that. I never. Yeah, that would have been later on after I sort of would have gone on to something Pastures Green, whatever the new big thing was.
Well, it's quite. I want to say this is Calhoun. I don't remember all the names off the top of my head, but his mask is the one that's actually used by Julio or Julio, whatever it is in the comics. So you can shrink stuff and make stuff bigger. That's this mask, which belongs to this guy, not the person in the comics. But they changed that for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Cool stuff.
So where I was going with it, obviously this I got a Facebook for like 15 quid.
Yeah.
And then it was just missing the doors, and luckily I went to Leicester Toy and Vintage Shop, and they literally hooked me up for I think it was like 5 quid a door.
Really?
So I completed it quite cheaply. So it's quite cool. Unless I break it like that.
So do you not? Okay, so that don't put you off then when a part's missing. You'll hunt down the parts afterwards.
Yes, as you learn over time, you kind of find out what's common and what's not. So I have like a lot of visionary stuff, and that's missing it, and I'm just building it up because it's like 40, 50, 60 quid a figure with everything, whereas you can pick it up cheaper, but it's just time. That's the only thing. It's I'm happy to save the money or just split it over a long period rather than just drop 50 quid here and 60 quid there, and everything's getting so expensive nowadays. As I say, like I'd like the newer figures, but I don't think I can justify paying like 150, 200 quid for a new version of this when you could get an inboxed sealed version of this for probably like 150 online.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know there was newer ones coming.
I'll see if I can find a picture on my phone.
Are they the same size? Or are you gone larger with them?
No, they should be more or less the same size. Masks. Let's see if I can get actual model pictures for it.
I think Mark in the message say that he 3D prints bits of stuff.
Okay, that's. Let's move that in. So Sharklet was never built. That's the prototype they've got there. So that's Gloria's vehicle. It obviously becomes a sub.
Okay, yeah.
And then let me go on their Facebook and get running. Hopefully I'm not breaking anything by putting this on here. So if you can see, that's obviously what it looks like. Let me see if I can find an overall pit there.
Oh, so they're still working on these then? Or are they?
Yeah. So they're not. So what they do is they obviously come up with all these test shots and update you quite regularly. They're a very small company. They did Centurions. That was their first line that they released. Which I did sign up for, and then I kind of opted against because they're a small company. They take a long time, and you have to pay at the very beginning. So say you wanted like the new version of this, they'll go, right, pre-orders are up now. You pay 120 quid for this. That doesn't include postage, and then you have to wait like 4, 5, 6 months, and then pay the postage when it's ready. And when they first started up, I liked them, but I was like, it's PayPal. PayPal, you can only kind of contest it within 6 months.
Yeah.
This company could very much go, oh, we've gone bust, or this has happened and we can't afford to get them out, and I don't get my money back. That's not, I mean, in my videos, I do slate them a little bit here and there, but I say with everything nowadays, I mean, 120 or over 100 quid for a figure is quite costly, specifically if you just collect a lot of different things, and everything. Obviously, with increasing fuel, heating, and everything else, you have to be a little bit realistic, I think.
No, it can be an expensive hobby. That's why I don't generally look back.
Yeah.
And with toy collecting, I don't really delve into specific lines. Get every, I suppose the biggest sort of collection of stuff I've got are my Spawn figures. But then I won't get every single one, just the ones that sort of speak to me. And then I'll get maybe a few Star Wars here and there, and some Marvel figures. But even with the Marvel figures, I won't collect to build the character.
The build a figure, yeah.
I don't interest, because I don't open them anyway.
Okay.
I don't open the figures, so build a figure. It's just a part in each one. And as you know, they put we're going to sell. Well, we want to sell you this character because this character's crap, and we know it ain't going to sell. So we'll make it part of that with a build a figure in there. So you've got to buy that to build this thing. I don't sort of get into all that sort of stuff.
Okay. That's how each their own. I don't hold it against you. It is an expensive hobby when you build a wave. I used to, but I think even like Marvel Legends, like you say, they were 20 quid when I was into collecting them, and now they're almost 30. And like a wave was 100, and now it's like 160, and it's it just is.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So specific characters will come along, like I know for. I know this is aside from Mask, but for the Doctor Strange 2 line of Marvel figures, I bought Sleepwalker.
Okay, yeah.
Because I loved the comic of Sleepwalker. Do you remember Sleepwalker?
I know of him. That's about it. I know the figure you're talking about, but
yes. So I got that because it's like, wow, I put Sleepwalker's figure. So there was a lot of excitement from me from that range, and I really did hope that, although he didn't pop up in the film, at that point I was like, I'd love just to see a cameo of Sleepwalker. But anyway, sorry, back to Mask. Go on.
No. So right, shall we go for a few more comments? I think the chat's got I can't remember where we were.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think that's it. See, let's go back to Jace. Gone back to the 18. We're good. They didn't shoot to kill, they shoot to teach a lesson.
Yeah.
Did you collect Star Wars toys, Chris? No. As I say, I've got a few. So I have the Disney. So because I'm an Xbox and that, I like Disney Infinity, which is a game. So I've got all the figures of that. I've got a Mandalorian figure, not without Baby Grogu, and I have a Lego Millennium Falcon. and a Lego BB-8. That's it. That's as far as my Star Wars collection goes.
I've actually got. Sorry, let me just. I'm going to do it aside because I've just bought. All right, I got back pay from work. Let's just say work owed me from 2022.
Okay.
January 2022, they owed me back pay, and this had dropped online to 160, and I bought it.
Oh, it looks nice.
Ray's lightsaber from. I don't like film, but I like the as a lightsaber. It was yeah, and it had dropped. I mean, a while ago that was about 280, and it had dropped to 160. And I thought, oh, I'm going to treat myself to that. It was either that or the Superman box set, and I said no to the Superman 4K box set. So I got that instead. But anyway, sorry, just an aside.
That's all right. That's fine. Let's try and go through some of these. When buying a Kenner figure, sold them all. Yeah, I mean, we all did. I mean, even I had a load that were beaten, and I sold them to a toy collector in like my 20s. Like I got out of my parents' loft, and I look back now and I remember bits, and I'm like, yeah, that person was probably rubbing their hands together, see me come in. Yeah. Lobot obviously agrees with me that he thinks the TV series were good. Glad someone else agrees with me.
I don't. I'd like to see a film.
Well, I mean, they could start with the film, couldn't they? Do it kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avengers. Introduce them and then split them off. But best of both worlds. Cool. Yeah, I mean, Avengers is a bit different, ain't it? Because you have solo individual characters. Where with G.I. Joe, I think it's more team based, and that's the way it's been. And yeah, I think with G.I. Joe, I mean, I've liked even like Snake Eyes and stuff. I like every incarnation they've done so far. I'm not saying.
Sorry, I'm lost at this because G.I. Joe did get movies. 3 of them.
Yeah, but I think he means like, I mean, more like the Avengers, more like a big franchise, but they've not been as good. Even though I like them.
With this, well.
If they were that's what he's trying to say.
You know, I mean, that might be the reason why they're put off of doing a mask.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I know there was a lot of logistic issues. I mean, the first G.I. Joe, Channing Tatum, from what I heard, had a really bad time and he just wanted out. And then switching to The Rock. And no, I do like The Rock, but I think he was the wrong person to play that character in the second one.
Yeah,
and stuff. I mean, I know like they had Bruce Willis and that in there. I just thought it was the wrong sort of film, but it is what it is. I say they're still keeping it live. They've still done Snake Eyes. I think they are planning to do something else as well, even though Snake Eyes bombed.
It did, which is a shame because Henry
Golding.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. I think he's very good. Not so much in Snake Eyes, outside of Snake Eyes. In other stuff, I think he's very good.
The Gentleman, I liked him really well in that.
Yes, he was in that, and the Christmas one he done with what's her face,
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, Last Christmas.
Yeah, that's it.
He was very good at
that. Right, move along. Do you like Lego? Playmobil sets now, making it great. I have the Bond car, Back to the Future, DeLorean, great sets. Well, you're the Playmobil guy. I do have the Lego DeLorean. I have a few Lego sets. The wife's got a few, but not major ones. So, are you going to pull something else out?
No. I was just fiddling around with putting my slippers on. Old man got a pair of slippers. I like slippers. Don't my age now. The Back to the Future DeLorean I didn't particularly like. It was it didn't look as, I don't know, there's something about it that didn't appeal to me, because I've got the Batmobile 1989 Lego set, the big one. I've also got and I've got 5 Lego sets yet to build. I've got an Optimus Prime,
the new one.
Yeah.
I've
got a X-Wing fighter, was bought me for Father's Day a couple of years ago now. I've got the Batmobile from the Batman film, The Batman.
Oh, okay, the latest one.
Yeah, I've got the Infinity Gauntlet, which was bought for me for Christmas, and I've got a Imperial Probe Droid.
Okay.
Big thing. But I think if Mark's still on from Blue Harvest, I think he said that's going out of they're not making that anymore, that one.
Okay.
And just leave it boxed, he said, if I recall. Mark, if you're still watching, is that the case? Anyway, go on. And Playmobil, yes, I've got the Enterprise and the Klingon Bird of Prey hanging from my room.
No, that's cool.
Playmobil are doing some impressive sets, I will say that.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of your videos. I mean, I wasn't really ever a fan of Playmobil, but you know, I've seen some of your sets. I do quite like the look of them. So
yeah, as a kid, I never had Playmobil. As a young kid, I always wanted Playmobil, and I never had Playmobil when I was young. I don't know why. It might have been too expensive or something for my parents. I'm guessing so. But now I'm sort of catching up on that.
Why not? Cool. On to the next one. G.I. Joe versus Mask. I don't know if this is a question or this is a
statement.
Yeah, or a statement, or who would win, or.
All right, if you had to choose, let's go with us having to choose one property over the other.
Mask, and I more gravitate. I mean, I watched all of Mask, and I only was kind of into the movie. Now, if you see the Toy Channel, we see I've got loads of classifieds, but yeah, I mean, you can't beat this.
No, that was cool. I remember having that. That was yeah, that was pretty cool. I would go with Mask as well, because G.I. Joe, I was never I was never heavily into.
Yeah, I suppose if we want to be politically correct, it should be Action Force versus Mask, because obviously that's how it was licensed over here, wasn't it?
That's right, absolutely. I think what for me for Mask was, it was the sort of Transformers element as well. Vehicle that does something. I like that element of it. Oh, just an aside again. Zoids.
Oh yeah, the mechanical ones where you wind up, and I had a few of them as a kid. I don't have any anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, sorry, I just loved Zoids as a kid. Go on.
Cool. Len Lobot's put Snap. I'm not quite sure. That was a while ago. So, oh yeah, and then Blue Harvest is. Oh, he already knew Full Force. Yeah, because that's what Action Force used to say. Bagged and board. Take note.
Yeah, no. If I bagged and boarded every comic that I've got, this space would be. It would go mental.
No, I mean, I have 12 long boxes of all of mine, and I had to go. I think when I downsized from 6,000-7,000 to 4,000, I basically took all the boards I had, because my comic shop are quite good. They're like, they normally give you an additional price to put them in, or did you bulk buys? So I just used to buy them and put them in. I ruined so many, but when I first started collecting, that I learned my lesson. Yeah,
no, I just found that I can keep them. They look after themselves when they're chunked into a bag and then into a box.
No. Cool. Right, next one, Jay. What's your opinion on the figures? Because obviously you get it more for the
more for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because the figures are they're
big, chunky, like robots, aren't they? Kind of.
Yeah, they're Playmobil. They're what, I don't know. I mean, I expect they're cool in there. They're cool in their own way. A little Playmobil, Michael J. Fox and Doc Brown, or the A-Team, the Ghostbusters cast. I didn't open. I have got a box of which I didn't open, still sealed. It came with the Klingon Bird of Prey. You get a couple of figures loose that you can build. Then you got a box with 4 of them in, like Captain Kirk and all them, and I kept that sealed.
Okay.
And open them up.
Sounds got cool. So yeah, I always thought the figures looked like is it Twinkie from Buck Rogers?
Yeah. Yeah. Bitty.
Yeah, still on. Blue Harvest has told Jay to get out, and then he's gone back and told him he loves him. And Matt said, "I know what you mean. I seem to either love you or not."
They're conversing amongst themselves.
Yeah. I'm a Playmobil shield.
Yeah, Mark actually gets them sent to him. He gets Playmobil actually send him. He got the. Did he get the Enterprise for nothing? I know he got the Bird of Prey sent to him by Playmobil. Here you go. Do that on your channel. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it's sold out. It's sold out.
Sold out. Oh yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind sending that if people want to send me stuff.
No, I had to buy mine.
Yeah.
Well, the missus did, I should say. She bought me it as a surprise for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, and then there's Matt saying that he thinks the Enterprise looks fantastic. And the Bird of Prey, yeah, the Star Trek stuff does. I mean, I don't really collect any Star Trek, I think, but those figures do look at the NCC Enterprise and that do look really good.
I think the Enterprise is better than the Bird of Prey. And it's a more enjoyable build as well. It's harder. It's a harder build than the Bird of Prey. That was very easy. The Enterprise was proved quite fiddly in places, especially feeding the wires down through the body and for all the electronics.
Okay, yeah, we've got Jay. He seems to like Lego and Playmobil. Says other companies are a bit hit and miss. Yeah, I'll give him that. We are in a very different age, I think, of toys. They're not all just basic, simple stuff, and the more complexity there is, it obviously adds the stuff goes wrong or isn't quite right. I've overlooked an interesting comment. We'll go back to that. How dare you say anything about Hasbro?
Oh, who said something about Hasbro?
We must have slagged them off at some point or said something.
Or was it someone else?
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's Jay's comment about obviously Lego and Playmobil. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they just let off like 1,000 staff, didn't they? I think they were in right issues. Yeah, like in America, I think they've laid off like 1,000 people because their sales for the first quarter of, I think it's of this year or last quarter of last year, weren't very good. And then you wonder why toys are coming through not being tested right, because all these people, I mean they've got a lot of lines with like Transformers and G.I. Joe and everything else, but yeah, I think the prices are going up, and with everything going on in the world, and I mean, I think what is it, they said it was like the cost of living's gone up by about 10% for everyone, and no one's going to get that annual increase. So obviously something has to go. Put food on your table or Lego. Or that's what happens. But anyway, let's. This is a fun live stream. Let's not get depressed by anything. Not worried. Matt's put a comment for the new film. I'm not quite sure what that's in regards to. No, they may be talking amongst themselves.
There you go. You're afraid that no one would watch and comment.
Yeah, no, it's I say it's all learning. That's the thing I want. And as you say, it's talking to people. I say that's the only thing I'm finding now. Of there's so many people that like, and I like them, and then I'm trying to watch all their videos. I'm like, there's too much. I don't have enough time in the day, but it's all good. I'll get there. Okay, Jay says he loves Hasbro. I mean, and Target suits. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, obviously, like with G.I. Joe, they only do mostly exclusives through Hasbro Pulse.
I've seen that, no.
No, so they have like their own website, and that's where most of the stuff comes from. Some of it gets sent through other suppliers, but they're like export ones, so they're a lot more expensive, and it's really that it is monopolizing it a little bit, because like with G.I. Joe, you just don't find it in shops.
So you yourself, you're far more. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a toy collector.
Yeah. Okay.
I like delving into it. I like buying a few pieces, but I don't sort of that sort of stuff is beyond me. It's like when I see it coming out, it's like, oh, I like to look at that, as opposed to what's coming out. Let's have a look. Do you know what I mean? I ain't invested in that side of it as such.
No, that's fine. Right. Let's see. Honda McLaren. Okay, I'm going to brought the Raven and Paul printed it. Okay, yes, it's talking about printing the weapons.
Yeah.
Hasbro had the designer to make them. Love you, Hasbro. Oh. Rah, Rasputin. New review jokers. I just interesting. Okay, that's banned. Oh, yeah, so okay, that will carry on for a little bit. I know we've gone over an hour.
That's fine.
Yeah. Did I have any? What did I have? I put a load of things out.
Oh, so Mark said that now he paid for the Enterprise, but he got the A-Team, Knight Rider, Naruto. What's Naruto?
Naruto is a Japanese animation series.
And J-Tree says, word of warning, if you have an Infinity Gauntlet, never wear it while singing the theme from the Addams Family.
So, yeah, this is...
Oh, okay, all right.
This is Naruto. You might have seen him. And if anybody's paying very close attention, that's all of Naruto here. And my arm is covered with Naruto. Let's try and... Like, there he is as a child and stuff. So whoever said that, I quite like that comment because I'm a big fan.
That was Mark.
That was Mark.
Yeah, Blue Harvest.
Yeah.
Blue Harvest Mark.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because it's this arm. Yeah, because I have like two symbols on my wrists, one for my favorite band and one for my favorite comic. So
what's the comic?
If I can get it.
That where am I looking? Well, that yellow thing. Sorry.
Yeah, let's see if I get it in camera. There. Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So that's the Thunderbolt symbol. So what's coming next year?
Okay, Thunderbolt. Okay, I didn't know that.
So obviously, no, that's fine. They're not a massive comic. I've liked them since like '97 when they came in. So
yeah, no, the only Thunderbolt series that I've read is the one where the Punisher was part of it. Punisher, Elektra, Deadpool,
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Guy with a big was it Agent Venom?
That's right. Yeah.
That one where they went red. Kind of thing.
Yes, that was the only, and the Punisher got off with had a relationship with Elektra.
Yeah,
and that's only because Punisher was part of it.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's good. I mean, you probably like they did a series in Civil War that was really good. That kind of boosted them up a little bit. But yeah, I look forward to their cut. That's the
yeah. I know in Civil War that was when they became the heroes.
Yeah.
So to speak, they were utilised to track down the villains. Were utilised to track down the heroes that were on the run.
Yeah,
the ones that wouldn't sign wouldn't give up their identity and all that.
Yeah,
they were good. They were some good times.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it is. No one suggested a topic for an episode yet. So obviously, if you think of something else you want to discuss, brand wise, anything. Put it in the comments, obviously, and then we'll have a just chat and see what we can do for next one. Obviously, try if it's something big like Star Wars or Transformers, try and be a bit specific because I don't think giving us a month to brush up on that will be enough.
Well, no, you've got think of your toy lines. Let's throw some toy lines out there. You've got when you done your toy room, I didn't see no Thundercat figures. Or did I miss that?
So I have the 2000X series and I have a classic 80s Wily kit. So that's all I have. I have the DVDs and stuff, but I never gravitated towards the toys as much as a kid. I did have a Lino, and that's about it. But I didn't like the look of them, and this is kind of what I think it masked. That they did kind of look like the toys, but they weren't. brilliant. It was a few, you know, the arms and legs move and the head moves, and that's about it. You know, Tiger couldn't turn invisible or anything.
So to give some ideas then on the next one, and go with me, because I don't know if, you know, you may not. I know you've got Transformers. I know you've got Transformers. So we could do a live, and I want to see you transform every single one.
Oh my God, there was a lot. There is.
So you got that. Yeah, you got Thundercat. You got Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got the Real Ghostbusters, but the reissues. So okay, so I've split everything. If it's all right to kind of take over, so it would be Transformers. I had a big collection. Then there's Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then I have like a movie section, so that would be like the Ghostbuster movies and that. Then above it is just DC. Then Marvel Legends. Then I have 80s toy lines together, so that would be like the new Dungeons and Dragons, the Real Ghostbusters, Centurions.
Centurions, are they the ones that had
the costume Power Extreme?
Yeah, and they had that's it, and they had all the holes on them, and you could attach all the bits. Yes, they were pretty cool, but I weren't massive into them. But they were cool.
Yeah, the bloke who's doing, or the company that's doing the new version, that's what they started with. So they're called 80s Commandos. And then
there must have been a cartoon series for Centurions.
Yeah, there was. And you can get the DVD.
Can you?
You can get the UK version, which has, I think, the first series of like 15, 20 episodes. I want to say it might not be as much. It might be 10.
Oh, you got the original miniseries, part 1. Let me have a look on Germany. Germany's usually a decent hub for so you got obviously you got He-Man and things like that. So it's up to you what you want to do. I'm happy. The original mini.
Yeah, that's the original DVD. I can send you pictures afterwards, so you can buy it.
Saw that on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, what else? And then it was like Dino Riders, like Skeleton Warriors, Mighty Max. There's loads of stuff. I just didn't know what people wanted to see, really. I mean, this is something. I mean, well, what we got? Well,
what would people who are watching? Anyone watching?
Yeah.
What do they? Let them throw out anyone watching, throw out some ideas for another chat about a toy line. Just to let you know, my because you're coming to a point in time with some of this stuff where I wouldn't have watched it.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm happy to go like Star Wars or something. And it's I learn more of it, so I'm happy.
Okay, so the things that I mean. I'll tell you, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I never really got into. I mean, I've seen the films, I've seen, but I've read a few of the comics, but I'm talking about things like The Last Ronin and
the newest
like that. Yeah.
Not the Mirage stuff where it first started and all that, yeah. Okay.
No, I sort of, when the cartoons came about, I think I was then too old for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dungeons and Dragons wasn't really something I was ever into, but like if I'm thinking of stuff upstairs, I've got He-Man, I've got She-Ra, I've got Real Ghostbusters, Thundercats, Transformers, obviously only G1 Transformers. I don't really go beyond that. All that sort of stuff. So,
I was going to say the comments so far. We have Jay mentioned Thundercats, Matt has mentioned Transformers, and then everybody seems to be gravitating towards the Real Ghostbusters.
Really?
So yeah, we've got two of it. Blue Harvest and Jay both say the Real Ghostbusters, so we could do that.
That would be a fun trip down memory lane, I think.
So yeah, obviously you got I assume, do we throw the movies in with the TV series? Because there's do we have Ghostbusters? The Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters?
Well, I was only ever a Ghostbusters person. I knew of the others. I think I saw some of them, but it was the real Ghostbusters for me. But you can do our homework, and we can, because I did collect toys when I was a kid. Play with them more than anything. I remember I used to set them up and use real slime, which would eventually dry out to play with. Even at that age, I like displaying them in a sort of, you know what I mean? So I did have the toys. I've got the, obviously big fan of the films, a fan of the TV show itself, and we can incorporate the other stuff into it. I'll just have to do a bit of homework on it.
Fine. Well, I say if you're happy to follow it, or I don't mind hosting the second one. It's entirely up to you.
Well, if you're happy doing it, it's your party. It's your.
Cool. You know, I can host it again. Yeah.
If you want me to host it, we can have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
So you know.
Don't use your lightsaber when you fight.
No, I've got loads. Yeah. I've got about 12 lightsabers now.
No. 12. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've got 12 of them.
Have you got a Mace Windu one?
I do.
Oh, nice purple.
Yes, the purple ain't too great on it. I'll be honest. The light colour of the purple, I don't particularly like. I thought it could have been a lot stronger. They may have improved on them now. That was when they were Force FX, and you couldn't detach the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Actual blade. They were one piece. Nice hilt though, very nice hilt on it. Okay. And I do have two Darth Maul.
Okay.
Because they come singular.
Pointy, yeah.
No, that's
Kylo Ren. Sorry, that's me. Yeah, Darth Maul's the
double-ended.
Yeah.
See, now when you buy them, you have to buy two to make it a double-ended one.
Okay.
Now, much
be careful what you say with
that. Yeah, much to the dismay of Amazon, they delivered one and left it outside, and it wasn't boxed. It was like this. The one I just showed you. It was like that with a sticker on it. So it wasn't in a box. They left it outside, and lo and behold, it went missing. So they had to send me another one, and it wasn't. Yeah, they had to send me another one, and then all of a sudden I've now got two that can attach together, and I paid for the one. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that's cool.
But yeah, we can come back and do Ghostbusters. That'll be a good one for next time.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I think we've got a few other suggestions in there, and visionaries in that sense, so we'll keep that in mind for the following one. So I think that's about it. I don't want to overrun the show too much, so I think I'll end it there.
Yeah, what you could do is you can we'll do Ghostbusters next time, but you can put out a poll on your channel.
Yeah.
Create a poll. You've got the community bit, haven't you? Community tab.
Yeah.
Yeah, create a poll and ask people to vote on open that for a week.
Okay.
It gets more of that involvement beforehand and more of an awareness about it coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that sounds good to me. That's a good idea. Thank you. Cool. Okay then. I think we will end the live stream there if that's all right for people. Thanks everybody obviously for attending live. We do appreciate it and having some people there. Obviously if you're pre-recording this and you're not a member of my channel or AJ's, please do follow one or both of us. We do appreciate it.
Always.
Yeah. And you can come join us for episode 2, which will be in about a month's time, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Take care all. Goodbye.